One night, an entire town vanished, not from bombs, not from fire, but from a lie. On May 17, 1943, British soldiers surrounded the village of Imber, knocked on every door, and told 155 people, "You have 48 hours to leave. Pack what you can. You'll be back after the war." They believed them. They packed their Bibles, photos, children's toys, and walked away. They never saw their homes again. Imber wasn't famous, just 800 years old, nestled in the hills of Wiltshire, England, a place where everyone knew each other, where Sunday meant church at St. Giles, where kids played in the same fields their grandparents did. Peaceful, quiet, safe, until the war changed everything. In secret, the military needed a training ground, somewhere isolated, somewhere they could simulate war-torn Europe. They chose Imber, not for strategy, not for defense, but because it was convenient. No politicians lived there, no newspapers would care. So, without warning, the order came: evacuate Imber immediately. The villagers were given 28 days to leave. Some were on vacation. One family returned to find their house locked, guarded by soldiers. They weren't allowed inside, just told, "It's for national security." They didn't resist. These were loyal citizens, patriotic. They thought, "We're helping win the war." They left furniture behind, gardens untended, pets given away. One woman, Mrs. Elsie Taylor, said, "I'll be back by Christmas. Just need to store my teacups." She never used them again. The government promised, after D-Day, after victory, they'd return. But when peace came, silence. Year after year, no word, no apology, just barbed wire and tanks. Because Imber wasn't just used once. It became a permanent war zone. Soldiers practiced urban combat, blasted buildings, fired live rounds. The church, still standing but bullet-riddled. The school, a shooting range. And the villagers, forgotten, scattered across England. Some died waiting, others wrote letters, pleaded, asked just to visit, even walk the streets one last time, denied. For decades, Imber was erased from maps. Airplanes weren't allowed to fly over it. It became Britain's ghost town, hidden in plain sight. One woman refused to forget: Dolly Watson. She was 12 when they took her home, grew up, had kids, but never stopped thinking of Imber. Every year, on the anniversary of her eviction, she drove to the edge of the military zone, sat by the fence, looked toward her childhood home. In 2007, at age 76, she finally got permission to enter. She walked through the ruins, crying, touched the walls, found her initials carved into a window frame. She said, "They stole my memories, but not my heart." She passed away 2 years later. Her ashes were scattered in Imber. Imber still exists. But it's not a town, it's a training ground used by NATO troops, occasionally open to the public, one weekend a year. People go to see the bullet holes, the crumbling homes, the silent church, but no one lives there. And no descendants were ever compensated. Not one penny, all for a promise that was broken. In the name of war, we remember D-Day, the Blitz, heroes who fought, but we forget the civilians caught in the gears of power, the ones who sacrificed and were forgotten. Imber wasn't destroyed by the enemy. It was erased by its own country. And the saddest part? Most of us have never heard of it, until now. If this shocked you, you're not alone. Hit like so YouTube shows this to others. Subscribe for more forgotten stories they never taught you in school. And share this video, because some truths shouldn't stay buried. Next week, the Japanese village that disappeared overnight, not from war, but from the earth itself. Stay curious.